Togekiss's usage is going to go up to like 70% or some dumb thing
Yeah.
right now.
Well, they're pretty good with weakness policy.
It,
Oh.
like maybe and we're seeing from Ace, we're seeing Whimsicott, Charizard, Mudsdale, a Silvally, the Mower, and Milotic. And on Allison's side, we see a Vikavolt, a Butterfree, Jellicent, Conkeldurr, Rhyperior, and Dusclops. So
Oh yeah,
we have
Jellicent gang.
Jellicent gang. You're right. I like the blue one over the pink one. I think the mustache is more appropriate. Definitely the better one. We're wondering, the Allison's team is a little bit threatening, having both Trick Room likely and some Butterfree shenanigans.
I want to know what type the Silvally is, 'cause some of them run Explosion.
Yeah, it might be normal with Explosion. We've seen, I think common is Grass, and maybe I'm not really sure what other types are typically used. It'll be interesting to watch. And here's round one's beginning. Let's take a look at what we got. Let's see. I think Allison's is the best trainer card out of both of these.
That's me IRL.
Yeah, and I'm not a big fan of Bob's Your Uncle as a restaurant uncle. That's for your restaurant. And we see Butterfree and Jellicent from Allison's side, and Charizard Silvally on the other. We'll see how each player adapts to one another's strategies here. Jellicent is a very supportive Pokemon, so
Yeah.
I wonder what will be going on for here. Silvally is also very fast. Not really used. It looks like it could be poison or maybe ghost. It's it's a very big purple. Yeah. So
They have too many purple types in this game.
yeah. Well, we might get and we see a Fire Pledge waiting for Fire Grass Pledge combo. Gonna set up that Fiery Swamp. Gonna do some extra damage over that, knocking the Butterfree to its Focus Sash. The Grass and Fire Pledge combo is one of the few that can be few combo moves in in the game. And there's a Sleep Powder from Silvally. The combo move makes Fiery Thorns that does damage to each opponent. And we see a massive Water Spout almost knocking out that Charizard, but not doing enough on Silvally. And there's the Grass and Fire Pledge combo going at once. Sea of Fire, the Butterfree fainting from that. And it's going to be dealing some damage to Jellicent. A little bit of chip. I think it's about an eighth of health per turn, roughly. And Conkeldurr is going to come in as Allison's next Pokemon. What do you feel about this very large clown?
He's pretty swole.
Very swole clown indeed. We'll see this sleeping Silvally. What will it do? It has to spend this turn asleep, unfortunately, but it looks like we're getting to see a Dynamax, maybe Gigantamax if it's Charizard from Ace's side here. And we end up seeing the Gigantamax Charizard.
So then they're going the Pledges and
Wildfire, using the combo to just do an absurd amount of chip every turn. But Mach Punch coming in, is that going to get the KO? No, not
13.
quite there. Leaving at 13 health, and he gets the G-Max Wildfire off on that Conkeldurr. It's going to do oh my god, knocking it down to 33, and likely with that extra chip from both the Grass and Fire Pledge and the other combo, it's going to get down to almost nothing. Trick Room being set up.
Trick Room.
Ooh, going to get that combo, but Conkeldurr is not going to be able to take advantage of that, as it's going to do a bunch of the chip damage from all of this. Look at this absurd amount of chip damage from the end. Look at there, Conkeldurr goes down. I have loved this strategy. I've always wanted to incorporate this strategy since the beginning of this series, but I never really found a good way to get through it. I was trying to get Rillaboom. I did not realize that Silvally actually got Grass Pledge, which is actually much better, a faster Pokemon to get that off. Vikavolt coming in is feeling pretty good in Trick Room, and Allison could probably pull it back. These two Pokemon are very good under Trick Room, and Jellicent can use moves such as Strength Sap to get out of that chip damage from all those moves. That Charizard's still a threat. You're going to have to take out that G-Max, but Max Guard coming out from G-Max Charizard. Hopefully that can help out. Volt Switch coming in, gonna do some chip on that Silvally and knock it down to
Oh,
only
4.
4. It's a Life Orb. Water Spout, gonna keep the Charizard alive with that Max Guard, but Silvally's gonna definitely go down out with that only 4 health left. Great play from Allison there, and is still just a very threatening, but that Max Guard stalls a little bit more so that more chip damage can come up on both that Vikavolt and that Jellicent. Seeing that G-Max Wildfire doing a little bit. Jellicent being knocked down to about a third. We'll see what Ace brings in for his third Pokemon. He's only lost 1 so far. However, Allison,
Mudsdale.
yeah, Mudsdale
That
coming in.
could be easily strength sapped.
Yeah, it could be. We'll see. Depends on who's faster. Is it the Jellicent faster in Trick Room, or is the Mudsdale faster? Mudsdale is pretty known for being slow.
Yeah, despite being a horse, it's kind of slow.
It is slow. I mean, it's a very big horse.
He is a heavy horse.
Yeah, can you imagine trying to move around when you weigh 2,000 pounds?
I know, look at his poor, ankles.
I know. He's got to have that, extra support. And we see a Dynamax coming out from Allison here. Likely the Vikavolt, as it is a powerhouse.
Yep, there he is.
There he is, a very large boy. And that threatening screech. That's my favorite part of Vikavolt.
Aggressive, screamy.
Literally looks that entire Max Overgrowth gonna take out the Charizard. Maybe get a little counteract the G-Max Wildfire and Fire Grass Pledge by using grassy terrain.
That was smart play.
And going to probably also use it, maybe weaken some of, if that Mudsdale has Earthquake, weaken that damage from it. However, Vikavolt does have Levitate. And there's the high horsepower coming out. Is that going to get the KO? That will take out Jellicent. Don't have to worry about that strength stat possibly.
Now Vikavolt's the only one left. Him against the world.
What's Ace's last Pokemon right now is a question. Alright, last Pokemon is a Whim. Very small cotton ball. Doesn't like being in front of Vikavolt, especially in Trick Room.
No.
Max Bug is gonna hurt. It would probably hurt a lot.
And we know it has max overgrowth for the Mudsdale, but can he take him down in one hit is the question.
Yeah. We've seen a very big surge of Vikavolt users in Colorado. It's being a very popular Pokemon.
They just like the bug here.
Bugs, yeah. Bug types are really cool. Ooh, what do we see? A Taunt. Interesting. However, the max overgrowth is going to get a KO on that Mudsdale. It's in grassy terrain, but because that Vikavolt can't get the benefit from the grassy terrain, it's not enough to take out the Mudsdale.
So the Mudsdale has stamina, so it might be running beat up.
That is true. However, we did just see that Rock Tomb miss, which is unfortunate for Ace. It could spell doom for him in the end. However, Trick Room has only one more turn left, so you might be able to stall this out, especially because it's Vikavolt's last turn of Dynamax. And here comes the Max Flutterby, and be going at lowering the special attack of the Whimsicott at the same time.
But can the Whimsicott kill him now?
Yeah, that is a good question. It is up to only the Whimsicott now. Moonblast coming out. It's going to do... Ooh, leave it at 38, but when that comes out of Dynamax, it'll only be at 17. Hope it might not be enough. But Trick Room is ending, which means that Whimsicott is now faster. The question is, will that Whimsicott do enough damage?
And many of them run Focus Sash too, so even if he does get a hit,
yeah, even if he
might
does
not
survive,
even die.
yeah, that is a good point. It's the only disadvantage about all the supportive moves that Vika will get is that Levitate prevents it from getting the terrain benefit, which is unfortunate for it.
There's the Moonblast.
There's
and
Moonblast.
That's probably it.
Yep.
Yep.
Ace takes game one as he with his the creative Grass Fire Pledge G-Max Wildfire combo, is able to do a lot of chip damage and get Ace into the KO range for a lot of Pokemon. All right.
So now we have to see how Allison can adapt to the Grass Fire Pledge.
She may not let might not let Ace set it up once again. Maybe Ace might only be able to get Grass and Fire Pledge up, but Charizard's going to be in a little bit of a risky position likely next round. So we still don't know what type that Savali is. We haven't seen a super effective message come out, so we're not sure what type it is.
Do you know what color it is?
It's purple, so it's likely we're guessing it's poison, ghost, or psychic, but it's probably not. It's not pink, so likely either it's poison or ghost as our guess. It'll be interesting. All right, we're waiting on connectivity. We're still waiting on our players. It's the new format is a little bit hard to adjust to, especially for the stream setup. So please have some patience between our rounds.
Don't bully us.
Oof, don't want to be bullied.
-2 burn Rhyperior is the best one.
I'm
Look
seeing
at that
some
big
really
creamy.
cool. We're just looking at some of the other teams across. We see an Alcremie on the other screen here, and versus a Durant. Funny enough, we see an Alcremie, but not a G-Max Alcremie.
What? Is that even allowed yet?
I'm not sure. I thought Gigantamax Alcremie was one of the few that was allowed. Which is like its G-Max move does gets a little bit of health for it's like a life deal with the attack, so it's actually pretty good. It's a little bit vulnerable though in terms of decorate. It's mostly used for its decorate strat.
Yeah.
All right, we're back at round 2 in the team preview. We'll see how Allison can adapt to that Grass Fire Pledge, or will Ace bring something different to throw Allison off? I'm not sure, but we'll see. That horse is probably one of the coolest members on that team.
Yep.
I think.
Always trust the horse.
Always trust the horse. I mean, have you ever seen a horse? They're like one of the most trustworthy animals I've ever seen.
They'd be like, nay.
They're very majestic. Although, I have to say, on the other side, we see a lot of... I do like the bug type usage on Allison. Both Butterfree and Vikavolt, those are pretty good bug types in general. They have their own role. The question is, what will Allison do with that?
Which bug?
Which bug? Well, she brought both last time.
True.
So...
Butterfree didn't last long.
That is true. The Grass and Fire Pledge made sure of that. It did get one sleep powder off to get that, and we're going to start in round 2. There it is. Bob's your uncle. All right, what are we seeing our leads today? Game 2 of round 1. And we see Dusclops Rhyperior changing the strategy on Allison's side.
Ooh, shiny Rhyperior.
And the same from Ace, Silvally, right? Silvally and Charizard.
Ghost member, so it is Ghost.
So we see a Choice Scarf on that Charizard, so it's extra fast. I did not see the item was revealed by that Dusclops' Frisk ability, but I did not see the item there.
It had a Ghost memory.
Ghost memory? Okay, so it is now a Ghost type. We have confirmed that. Okay. However, based on the current meta game, it's likely that Rhyperior has a weakness policy.
Yeah.
And Dusclops almost always has an Eviolite. So.
Very bulky Pokemon.
Yes, very bulky Pokemon. I honestly don't know how this is going to play out for both of them. We're going to see a Dynamax right from Allison out of the gate. Likely that Rhyperior slot. Let's see if it is the Rhyperior.
There he is.
On the other screen we have a Greedent on a different game.
Somebody's Chungus is dying.
My god, that roar from Rhyperior. Very malicious. And a protect from Charizard. To keep it safe. Parting shot coming off onto that Rhyperior. Going to lower its attack and special attack. Probably to try to keep that Charizard safe. We're going to switch out the Savali into something new. See what Pokemon comes in return. And it's going to be the horse. Probably going to use to combat the Trick Room that's likely to come here. The Max Rockfall. Going to go on probably that Charizard slot. It's protected and -1 still lives because of that parting shot. Sandstorm kicks up, which is really good for Rhyperior. It boosts its special defense by 1.5 times, and there's the Trick Room coming from the Dusclops. Overall, a really great first turn from Allison. We're going to see what happens with this.
With Charizard so low, I don't think they can get off the pledge strategy without him being killed first.
Yeah, I could see that definitely, especially with Trick Room up, and Rhyperior is probably the second best thing on the field. First going to Dusclops likely. It's going to be interesting to see how Ace can get out of this one. We're likely to see a Bulldoze or a Brick Break on coming right about here. And out comes Charizard and Silvally coming back in. Probably to lower possibly try to combat that lowering of things. Ooh, Mudsdale. Yeah, Mudsdale's coming out as the Dynamax to combat that Rhyperior. The biggest horse you've ever seen. Most loyal horse. Could you imagine how far and how fast you can get with that horse that big?
That would be fun.
Oh my gosh.
Could probably hang on to one of his dreads.
You could. I don't know. I would probably want to make a big old saddle for him, and then it's like a little house on top, you know?
Oh, and there's the weakness policy.
Oop, weakness policy.
With the Bulldoze.
Bulldoze lowering everybody's speed on the field. Which is really good for Trick Room. But however, Stamina is going to help defend Mudsdale from that situation, and we're going to see a Max Steel Spike going to try to boost Savali goes down to the Max Steel Spike, but the defense boost from both critical hits. We don't know if that mattered or not, because it was already +1 after the weakness policy and parting shot. So, and Max Quake in return.
Into who?
Likely the Rhyperior, as he probably foresaw the Bulldoze coming anyway, so the weakness policy was already going to activate. Special defense boost coming in, and it's looking really good for Allison this game. Already getting so many KOs. Getting 1 KO, but Charizard's not
close.
Charizard's not looking good right now. All right, and Whimsicott coming in next. It's not liking Trick Room. It's typically very fast. So it's looking a little bit scary for Ace right now, as all his Pokemon are in a very iffy place. Taunt coming from onto the Dusclops. However, preventing the burn on the Mudsdale. Very good play for using Prankster. There comes a second Max Steel Spike. Whimsicott is in fact on that Focus Sash.
Yep.
However, that Sandstorm is probably going to end it on the end of end the Whimsicott at the end of this turn. And let's see what Mudsdale gets to do right here. Likely another Max Knuckle going for the attack. Rhyperior is very bulky in defense, so it's not going to do very much.
And those super effective hits won't do as much. So.
Either, because of that solid rock ability, which reduces super effective hits by 3/4.
I think that may be his last Dynamax turn.
That is Rhyperior's last Dynamax turn, but it's not Mudsdale's last Dynamax turn. Mudsdale has one more turn, which could be enough to swing it for Ace. If Ace can get out of this Trick Room, he may be able to start going, but it's not looking great right now. Trick Room has 2 more turns.
And Allison still has all of their Pokemon, and they're not looking the most dying.
Yeah,
they're all pretty healthy.
In fact, both Pokemon on Allison's side are extremely healthy. Not even a quarter gone from the Dusclops, and only about a third from the Rhyperior. So it's looking a really strong sweep from that. We see a protect coming from on the Charizard. He needs to get through both the gets through the two Trick Room teams, and the stamina is going to boost the defense after that Nightshade. Let's see Max Quake from the Mudsdale.
Does have +1 attack.
Yep, and it is enough to pick the KO up because of the Dynamax at end. So Mudsdale gets one more special defense drop boost. Sorry, boost from the Dynamax turns, and is going to be able to pull off enough. One more. If Charizard can make it through one more turn of the
There's
Conkeldurr. Oh, that's gonna spell some trouble for Ace here. One more turn of Trick Room. Can he make it through? Although we did see that Charizard has Protect and a Choice Scarf, which is an interesting choice. However, so that Charizard is actually sitting dead in the water.
So unless he can get rid of that, he probably doesn't need to worry about Charizard. He'll die to Sandstorm.
In a few turns. I mean, here you could probably use Dusclops, the weaker member here, to take it out. Or you might want to be using... And the Protect fails there, and the Nightshade coming out. Is that going into... No, that'll go into Charizard, taking the knockout.
Very interesting using a choice item with Protect.
Yes. I've used that once with a Choice Scarf Kyogre just to make somebody confused. Because I would Protect and then switch out, and then the next turn just completely ruined them. It was such a strange... It was a strange strategy, but it's all about the mind games.
That Mudsdale has so much defense, he's not taking much damage from the Conkeldurr.
And the last turn of Trick Room is up. I think the problem is that Dusclops Nightshade does not take into it. It's based on health, the level, so it's not going to work on that. It's not going to get rid of the... I heard some funny comments in the background. We're going to see some... Yeah, Mudsdale is going to have to take a lot, and it's going to have to defeat that Dusclops pretty quick, otherwise...
The Conkeldurr is the fastest on the field.
That's kind of ironic. Conkeldurr is not known for being the fastest. Defense boost once more. Body press going on to likely the Conkeldurr. And going to take the knockout. However, as I mentioned before, Ace is in a dangerous position because Will-O-Wisp missing.
Ooh.
That's big. And Nightshade is gonna. It doesn't matter. Doesn't use defense. It uses
Butterfree.
Oh.
Might get a sleep powder.
The burn might have been better for that Mudsdale if that Butterfree can land a sleep powder, and with its ability, Compound Eyes, it has a much higher accuracy than most Pokemon with sleep powder.
That Butterfree might be holding Focus Sash too.
I think we saw that in the previous game. Yeah, I was holding Focus Sash, which is there's the sleep, and I think that might spell the doom for Ace here because Nightshade will be coming from the Dusclops, going to whittle it down a little bit at a time. Going to do exactly 50 health. Boost. That stamina boost does not matter for Nightshade. Let's see what Ace can do. He has to make it through. Maybe if he has a first turn wake up, it's possible, but it's looking pretty grim for this first game. Energy Ball. Coming from Butterfree. Gonna knock it down to 20 health with a Nightshade. Special defense boot drop. Mudsdale did in fact wake up. Heavy Slam. Here we are on to the Butterfree. Gonna knock it down to its Focus Sash. I'm wondering if he has Rock Slide. He might not. We saw Rock Tomb instead.
Yeah.
A flinch might have been good there. But that Nightshade was able to pull off for the last amount of damage for Mudsdale, finishing off the game 2.
Now we go to game 3.
Game 3 of round 1. It's looking like a very close matchup. We'll see what Ace can do to adapt to that Trick Room.
So if he can prevent Allison from getting the Trick Room, there isn't much that Allison can do. He only has a few fast Pokemon.
That is true. She might also switch it up, might not even go Trick Room to try to mess with Ace's head. So we'll see what ends up happening here.
Change the 0 to 1.
It's interesting. Well, we're about to get to team previews very soon for round 3. Game 3. All right, and here we are. Team preview for game 3. You see, wondering how Ace can combat that Dynamax. Maybe the mower is the answer. We haven't seen the mower or Milotic. He's brought the same 4 Pokemon for the both his first 2 sets. Maybe those 2 Pokemon may have the key. Oh no. Oh yes. I will change that score for. All right. And we're ready to go for the last game.
Be interesting to see, because now each team knows each other's tricks.
So, yeah, we've seen both sides of Allison's team in terms of speed and trick room, but we have yet to reveal that Ace's the lawnmower and Milotic still haven't emerged. So Ace may still have a trick up his sleeve, or may have an ace up his sleeve, right?
I hate that.
Puns are allowed most of the time, but also not welcome. And we're going to see Vikavolt Jellicent lead. And we're going to see, again, Charizard Savali on one side, maybe predicting that no Trick Room was going to come up this round. Although that Jellicent can use Trick Room instead. So there are 2 Trick Room users on this team overall. Very common typings. We have 2 Bug types and 2 Ghost types on this team overall. I think I really like Conkeldurr in this series because it's really the only threat to it in this series is Togekiss. So if you can find a way to get around that Togekiss, then you might have a good chance to get just taking some KOs. However, when I look at these 2 teams, we don't have a Togekiss. We were just talking about how a Togekiss is 70% usage or some.
The Charizard could have flying moves, and the Whimsicott usually knows Moonblast.
Yeah. This time Ace is going to opt to go for the Dynamax right away instead.
That Charizard? Yep.
Yeah. Probably going to G-Max Wildfire into that, into the Vikavolt. Going to try to knock it out immediately. And you see that roar, bellow from the... And now Vikavolt's going to protect to try to keep it safe from any that possible G-Max Wildfire coming in. And there it is, G-Max Wildfire. How much damage is this going to do to protect? A little under half, but that...
With that Wildfire, it will be half.
Yeah, so it's going to be a little bit rough, but the parting shot for the Vikavolt is going to keep it protected, and are we going to see Trick Room? Yes. Yep. And now I think Allison has a pretty good advantage here, as both Pokemon here are very offensive. And now that little bit of chip from G-Max Wildfire is doing quite a bit of damage still. Vikavolt is looking really grim right here, especially with that only about a third of its health left.
Yeah, he does not look the healthiest.
But it does get to go first, is the question. That Vikavolt is very slow typically, and it has it's very powerful with Life Orb. So we're gonna see whether it might be able to knock out that Charizard even with just a generic Thunderbolt. I've seen how the base 145 special attack is absurd coming from that Vikavolt.
Well, the Charizard does not want that with the max guard. Volt Switch.
Volt Switch instead. Still doing a ton of damage. I think she could have gone for she could have Thunderbolt there and could have gotten a KO.
Yeah.
Conkeldurr coming in its place. Gonna get that nice burn immediate as soon as it can. Water Spout. Gonna keep actually gonna keep Savali living off of 5. It's because that G-Max Wildfire actually kept it safe. Ooh, and that Jellicent going down to the Ghost multi-attack there. That's Savali
Very
living
powerful.
off of 5. G-Max Wildfire first turn was what kept that Savali alive, just barely. which is kind of crazy actually if you think about it. Here's the thing, Chars are in a very interesting position, as it is pretty slow, and that Savali is also not very in Trick Room. They're very at the end of the speed turns, so we're gonna have to watch out for that.
Good thing I didn't click Trick Room that turn. I definitely did. You're not worried?
As some of our other players are very loud behind us. We're gonna get some noise from them. We aren't the best venue here. In terms of location, like our location relative to others, maybe not the venue itself.
There's a Conkeldurr
The venue is
team.
very nice.
Dynamax. I know some Conkeldurrs run Thunder Punch, so it might be using that.
We could see a Max Lightning from that, but we gotta watch out. Ooh, Volt Switch.
That's a lot.
It does a lot, and Big Volt's coming and leaving once again, and avoiding that G-Max Wildfire.
Volt just wants to head out.
I'm head out. So we'll see. Here's the
Butterfree's
Butterfree.
the last Pokemon.
That's not a great Pokemon to have in Trick Room. And the Max Rockfall coming from the Conkeldurr is gonna knock out that Charizard. Ooh, that Sandstorm's gonna come through. Gonna knock out that Savali likely, but Savali does get out an attack off this turn.
And if it is a parting shot, we'll be able to get out of here.
Yeah, and it will get parting shot. It'll be able to survive until the next turn, actually. Question is, who's coming in? Maybe that Mudsdale once again? That Butterfree is going to take some damage, which means
His big cloud nose.
yeah, I know, it's so big.
Yep, there's the Mudsdale.
And you have to be careful with that Butterfree. And it has lost its Focus Sash ability. There's the G-Max Wildfire also preventing it from getting its Focus Sash.
Yeah, Rock Slide should be able to take that out. Or a Rock Tomb.
Yeah, we've seen the Rock Tomb on here. There's Milotic as a choice. There, we were talking about one of those Pokemon might be the key to keeping everything going for Ace here. We'll see how that plays out. All right, let's see what happens here. This turn.
Butterfree does not look like it's in the best position.
It
Even if you
isn't.
switch to Vikavolt, that Vikavolt's gonna die.
Yeah, and with two more turns of Trick Room, it's looking a little bit grim for the Butterfree. But if Butterfree can get out, maybe switch into Vikavolt, and maybe able to survive till Trick Room.
If it has Protect.
Yeah, if it has Protect, we don't know. We've only seen Energy Ball and Sleep Powder from it, so. All right, Heavy Slam coming in, gonna take out that Butterfree, likely, very likely. Yep. As the second KO for Ace here, and now Max Knuckle coming in from Allison, and it's gonna Milotic is gonna eat that a little bit because of that parting shot.
Mm-hmm.
The parting shot keeps it very safe, and there we see a Muddy Water.
Back to neutral. Ooh, Muddy Water miss.
Especially because that was a single target Muddy Water miss. It would have been done a lot more damage. G-Max Wildfire still going through, keeping Ace, helping Ace through the battle, even though Charizard went down several turns ago.
Was that Conkeldurr's last turn of Dynamax?
I think it has one more turn, if I'm not mistaken, because it is used.
Yep, one more turn.
Yeah, well, it's only used Max Rockfall and Max Knuckle. So we'll see with that one more turn of Trick Room left. We'll see how this all plays out. Vikavolt is probably the fastest thing on the field. Mudsdale, although, might be slower. We don't know yet. I don't think we've had a Mudsdale Vikavolt matchup in Trick Room.
There was a time where I think Vikavolt was Dynamaxed against the Mudsdale.
Oh yeah, I did remember
and I
that.
think Vikavolt was faster.
In Trick Room, I think maybe right, and you are right. As the Volt Switch is going to get the knockout on that Milotic, leaving it kind of left on the field. Let's see what happens here. High horsepower coming on to get that little bit more damage on the Conkeldurr. Max Knuckle coming in return. Maybe Ace foreseeing the... Ooh, that was quite a bit of
That was
damage.
a lot of damage. Now they have
Mixing
plus
up
1
well.
attack.
Oh, it was a critical
crit.
hit. That could be mattered the difference. However, with the life orb damage, that sandstorm might be able to knock out the Vikavolt, that Max Rock earlier in the game being a double-edged sword.
Oh, he survives at 5.
Survives at 5. And we're gonna see Savali coming in as the last Pokemon on this field. Interesting thing is
I think
what...
Trick Room is now over.
Yeah, it is the fastest thing. However, it'll have definitely one more turn with Sandstorm going to be knocking it out this round. Question is what's going to happen in this instance? Who's going to end up winning this? This is a very close game.
And Conqueror can't throw out a Mach Punch to Savali.
Savali to finish it off. With the +1 boost at the end, maybe he can Psychic Fangs. Gonna knock out the Conkeldurr. Now, if Vikavolt can knock out that Mudsdale, I think based on
But the Mudsdale does outspeed him.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Rock Tomb hits.
Rock Tomb hits, and that is going to be the end. Ace is going to be able to take it with the Trick Room ending, swinging it just a little bit at a time. Ghost type actually being the right type for this matchup.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Ace, as the winner of round 1. All right. Congratulations, Ace. And we will see you all in round 2 coming up very soon.